WandaVision episode 8. Now, this episode, of course, is the second last episode of the show in general because it's a event, it's a limited, it's a mini series of a collection of 9 episodes. And as like last week, and probably probably next week as well, this is not about a spoiler episode. So if you haven't seen the episode, come back, watch it, and come back and hear my thoughts. So anyway, this episode is fantastic, by the way. This episode is absolutely fantastic because what this episode is, it's exploring. Well, we have this answer, right? We have this question of what started the hex, and we all thought it was Annika all along. Like, we all thought it was that. We all thought she did it, but turned out she was a dick. She was just, in a way, she was a magical person throwing eggs at Wanda's house, who also has magical powers. That's essentially what she is. Essentially what she is. Until the last 5 minutes of the episode, which I'm like, okay, you're a villain. F you, you're a villain. But in the first 5 minutes, we're like, okay, you're just a dick. And then, so the question comes down to who creates this hex? Why the sitcoms? And then we see it, and you're like, I get it. And you understand what the theme of the show is. And it's a show about a woman dealing with her tragedy and grief. Because once again, if you go through all Wanda's life, from when we met her in, well, technically in Winter Soldier and post-credits scene, but fully met her in Age of Ultron and out through Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. If you we see those moments, but we also see moments that we haven't seen or may heard of. We see the last few minutes of her and her family with her parents. You see how she got powers, which was kind of cool because we see a vision of a Wanda's Star Witch costume, which is kind of cool. Seems like they're just keeping the same costume but adding the headband. Just saying, just feels like it. Anyway, but we see her reaction to of seeing of her brother dying, and then Vision and the state of Vision's body and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of, you understand why she's doing what she's doing, and understand why she's like, I need to create a new world. And so she creates this new sitcom world, which the scene where she just bursts out and creates it is just emotional and tragic. They acting, you understand it's a big thing, but it's not acts like a big thing. It's like a big emotional torment of it, which I will say, I said it was Wanda all along. I said that, and everyone was like, "No, it was a Fisto. No, it was Nightmare." Ha ha! It was Wanda all along. I was right. Ha ha! Anyway, next thing she'll say is more mutants. That's probably what she's going to say. I don't know that, but I have more speculations. Everybody wants X-Men showing up, and then you understand why. Also, you understand why sitcoms, because those were the outside, like Vision and Pedro, that died. Well, at least twice for Vision's count, and her family. Sitcoms were the only happy and joy that she had, and you just like it wasn't like, well, F you, Wanda. It was like, I feel sad for Wanda. I understand Wanda. I feel bad for Wanda. I feel all these things, and to the point that when you see the scene when she sees Vision's body, the state of Vision's body, like his arms over there, his head's over there, his legs are just tore apart because Sword's like, well, technically he's a robot, but for her it's her lover, her partner, her relationships, the person that she, as she said, wants to be married to, have kids together, all that kind of stuff. And Clay Haywood, you know what Haywood was like? You know those people who are racist or homophobic, but they try their hardest not to be one. That's essentially what he is. He just smells the whole thing of you supers. Like that's what it comes across. It comes across as you supers. I'm like, you realize this dude could, you realize she could toss you across the damn room with that, right? Anyway, it's a really good episode. Absolutely wonderful. In my head with the post-credit scene, I won't lie, I thought it was going to be like, oh, it's Ultron in Vision's body, but all that. But it makes sense why they done the whole Vision thing, because you need something that Vision can fight. Because there's a reason probably why after Ultron, in Civil War, Infinity War, they, injure him or take him out or kill him twice. Like, in those movies very quickly on, very early on, because he's that powerful. So, my guess it'll be, I think what will happen is we'll get the big MCU third act climax that we have been getting probably since the first Iron Man, probably since the first Avengers. And then we'll get the true ending, which is tragic and hurtful, and I think we'll have the, I think we'll have the scene where Wanda's like, I know I need to let this go, but I just can't, and she'll break down. She will have her saying her last, officially, she's gonna say goodbye to Vision, officially. I think if Vision's gonna show up in Doctor Strange or Spider-Man, we don't know that, but at least in Doctor Strange, it's gonna be like memories or something along those lines. But in a way, officially, this is the episode where Wanda becomes the Scarlet Witch.